Hello and welcome to Take Six. I am streaming executive producer Thomas Mates, filling in for Julie Broughton today. She has the day off, but we will see her again hopefully on Monday. News 6 meteorologist Jonathan Kegas will be filling in for her this afternoon on 4 and on through the 11. So we'll still have you covered for all your weather needs. We've got a big show for you today. In the meantime, we are looking at a community resource that is getting ready to reopen. A community resource that is getting ready to reopen in Oviedo later this month. It was damaged about 2 years ago during Hurricane Ian. There was 25 inches of water in the building, and now it's finally almost back to where it was before the storm, even with some improvements. So we'll take a look at that coming up in a few minutes. We're also taking a look at a new policy out of the Orange and Osceola State Attorney's Office that's getting some scrutiny from local law enforcement, but also from the state's Attorney General. So we'll have all the details on that. We're also going to be talking about the hot stretch of weather that we are experiencing that is going to continue for the next couple days. We'll get to that in just a second. Very quickly, right before we get to that, though, I just want to take a look out now on the West Coast near California, just off the coast of California, I should say. We just saw the splashdown of the Fram 2 mission, which took off here from our Space Coast just a few days ago. This was a historic mission of private citizens who took off on this flight, went over the polar regions, and are now back on Earth and being recovered as we speak. You can continue to watch this right now on clickorlando.com. And over on our YouTube channel. Also, quickly, just before we get to our weather, we do also want to take a quick check on the stock market. It is seeing a big tumble again today for the second day in the row. Economists are pointing the blame at President Trump's tariffs, which are going to be imposed on just about every imported good coming into the United States. This is the second straight day for this big tumble, this big sell-off. We're going to be keeping track of this, and we'll have an update on this coming up on News 6 at 4. In the meantime, now we are going to get a check on your weather. As I said a few moments ago, it is hot out there. Very hot, near record-breaking hot coming up in a couple days. To tell us more about it, we're joined now by the Weather Wonder Woman herself, Michelle Morgan. Michelle, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today, Thomas?
Not too bad. Nice and cool in here in the station, but outside, a very different story. I'm not looking forward to
Yes.
getting into my car later.
Yeah, it's a bit toasty outside.
For
Little too
sure.
early. Yeah, a little too early for the 90s, but hey, we have to deal with it. We are looking at a pretty decent stretch of that hot weather as we go through the next several days. But don't worry, we do have a nice cool down on the way if that's something you're looking for as we head into next week. So let's go ahead and take a look at the setup. You're looking at the satellite and radar imagery, area of high pressure hanging over the Atlantic Ocean. And that'll continue the very dry, very warm, pleasant weather as we go through the next several days. But notice it is very active to our north and also the west, area of low pressure associated with a few fronts. We have a warm front, a stationary front, and a cold front, and it is active across the Midwest. It has been active for the past several days. We saw numerous tornado warnings, confirmed tornadoes across the Midwest late Wednesday into Thursday morning. And unfortunately, once again, those areas are expected severe weather once again as we go through today and tomorrow. For us here at home, the only thing we'll have to worry about is the heat. Now it's noon, around 12:33, and we're in the 80s. We're at 84 in Orlando, Sanford, Kissimmee at 82. Coastal areas are toasty in the lower 80s, and then 84 in the villages. As we go through today, things will continue to warm into the 90s, upper 80s for many locations, except our coastal areas staying in the lower to middle 80s. And here's why. We are dealing with our winds and our wind gusts, generally out of the south and southeast, but pretty impressive, gusty between 20 to 23, 24 miles per hour. But notice the direction of the winds is out of the southeast. Anytime we're dealing with southeasterly, southerly winds, that's going to continue to increase the humidity across central Florida, really across the peninsula. So not only are we dealing with the heat, we'll also be dealing with the humidity. So it's going to feel a bit sticky as we go through the next several days, and that's going to last through the weekend. Now, again, temperatures are toasty. If you're now tuning in, it's going to stay toasty through today, but your forecast as we go through the rest of your afternoon, We're at 89 around 2, 90 around 3, and then staying in the lower 90s as we go through the rest of your afternoon before sunset. Now, your beach forecast looking pleasant, middle 80s, water temperatures nearing 70. The UV index and the rip current risk will be relatively high today. So, you know the deal. Make sure you have the sunscreen, and also be very careful if you're heading out into the open waters. Make sure you're swimming near a lifeguard. And again, we are dealing with that high rip current risk due to the strong winds and the surf between 3 to 4 feet. Now, sunset tonight is 7:45, and as you can see here, your forecast highs will be well above average. Normally, we're at 81 for this time of the season. We're already above average, and it's again noon. We're looking at 90 in Orlando, Kissimmee, Claremont, at 92 in Wildwood, 93 in Ocala, Winter Haven at 91, and then our coastal communities 85 in Palm Coast, 84 in Daytona Beach, and 81 in Cape Canaveral. Now, as we go through the rest of today, also to mention, the Lake County Fair starts today out in Eustis. If you're heading out, don't forget to hydrate, use sunscreen. Temperatures will be hot and also breezy. Tomorrow's going to be another hot and humid day, near record heat, with really no measurable rain in the forecast. And Sunday, a little bit hotter at 92. And we'll see some scattered clouds across central Florida. And again, no rain. But as I mentioned before, changes are on the way. Now, just jump forwarding to Monday. We'll have a strong cold front heading towards us, and we'll see scattered rain and a few embedded thunderstorms associated with this frontal boundary. As it continues to progress towards us, we will see heavy rain in a few locations. The rain chances will begin to go up late Monday into Tuesday morning. So many of us will be between that 50 to 60, 70% range, may get a little bit higher as we get closer to Tuesday. And then Tuesday afternoon, around 5, 6 o'clock, that front should clear. We'll see our winds switch out of the north and northwest. And because of the direction of the winds and also the strength of this front, we'll begin to see cooler air filter in as early as Wednesday morning. And here's what I'm talking about. So here's a look at your 7 day. So today, Saturday, Sunday, even Monday, we're in the 90s. A few showers are possible Monday. Not until Monday night into Tuesday is when we'll see that front move through, bumping up those rain chances. So Monday, we're going from lower 90s to upper 70s on Tuesday. So we're looking at some rain and also a lot of clouds and that cooler air. So some relief is on the way. And then we're going to stay in the 70s as we go through our Tuesday, our Wednesday, and our Thursday. So don't worry, some relief is on the way to Central Florida if you don't like the heat.
That is great to hear. You know, the
I know
70s.
you're happy about it.
Oh, for sure. I have missed the 70s these past few days for certain. It has been a lot with the heat this early on in the year. But the one thing I know we're going to be keeping our eye on with that transition from the strong weather coming in Monday night into Tuesday is that's going to be during the championship game for March Madness. And so, you know, I know the buzz around the newsroom is we're all concerned that, you know, there could be some issues that could, you know, interrupt the coverage of that. So I know it's too early to say for certain, but I know that you and the rest of the News 6 weather team are going to be watching that very closely over the next couple days.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're definitely going to keep our close eye on that so we can have a better time frame of when that front is going to come in. But I mean, it's Friday. So this is just a general idea of when we're thinking the front is going to come in. So that can change by a few hours. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. You know, we don't want to interrupt the game any more than you want us to interrupt the game. So just for all our viewers out there, we're on your side in this.
Of course.
All right, Michelle, thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for your time.
Take care.
All right. We are now going to take a look at a story out of the Orange and Osceola State Attorney's Office. Monique Worrell, the newly reelected state attorney, is facing a little bit of scrutiny. She's just recently changed a policy in her office that is raising the bar for the types of cases that can be sent to her when an arrest has not been made by law enforcement. Local law enforcement is taking some umbrance with that, and so are some advocates for domestic violence and abuse survivors. News 6's Mark Lehman has the story.
Today, we're seeing a lot of reaction to the announcement made here yesterday by Monique Worrell regarding non-arrest cases. Worrell says she wants the new policy to encourage law enforcement to obtain arrest warrants quickly, but some fear it could discourage victims from reporting crimes. It's an issue that's been piling up in Orange and Osceola County. With a backlog of thousands of non-arrest cases, State Attorney Monique Worrell says her office will no longer allow law enforcement to forward certain cases that lack enough evidence to justify an arrest.
The time of our prosecutors is having to be spent in sifting through these cases, which delays justice for the community.
The change is being met with backlash, including from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. The agency releasing a statement saying we are not supportive of the policy in its current form, as it could deny prosecution in some domestic violence and firearms cases and deny justice to some victims of those crimes.
Strangulation is something that might not show right away, and it might show up later with a bruise behind the ear, and so that's an instance.
Harbor House CEO Michelle Spurzell says she worries about how the decision will affect domestic violence cases. Florida's Attorney General is also responding with a statement saying, in part, as Attorney General, state law gives me general supervisory authority of State Attorney Worrell's office, and I will direct my office to review her policies and their impact on public safety. If you remember, Worrell was reelected last year after she was removed from office in 2023 by DeSantis for not prosecuting certain cases. With that in mind, we've reached out to the governor's office for his reaction to this new policy. As soon as we hear back, we will let you know. In Orlando, Mark Lehman, Getting Results, News 6.
We'll be continuing to follow that story, and you can read more about the policy right now on clickorlando.com. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest went over it very closely, and he breaks it down in a really concise way. Again, that's on clickorlando.com. Right now, Osceola County's Animal Services is undergoing some renovations, but because of those renovations, which are much needed for the facilities there, they are asking for people to step up and become foster families for the animals that are there so that it can alleviate some of the stress on those animals who are already in a difficult situation. It's loud, it's noisy, there's a lot of barking, and then you throw construction on top of that. It can be a real nightmare for those pets. News 6 reporter Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6 reporter Stephanie Rodriguez has more on the story and how you can help out.
Osceola County Animal Services is going through a lot of construction right now, and they're still open, taking in cats, dogs, and other animals. With that in mind, they're hoping that the community will consider giving some of these animals a temporary home. Osceola County Animal Services is getting some needed upgrades.
We're going to have a new x-ray room that has been built, some finishing touches to the admin area, new flooring, new paint.
Rose.
Staff says the changes are crucial to keeping their furry residents safe and healthy.
We got a new isolation building, so that's going to house our animals away from our general, population so that we can keep number of illnesses down. They're painting, we got a new wash station, so it's really awesome. Not just for the animals, but for staff here. It's making our jobs a lot better.
Construction is expected to be done by June, but until then, they need help from foster families to give their four-legged friends a break from all of the noise.
So the floors in our kennel sections are going to be done, so that means we're going to have to move animals. When we move animals, it not only stresses them out, it puts them at risk for illness. So the less moves we have to do here at the shelter, the better, so we can get them out for even just a week.
They provide medical care, food, and all the supplies needed to make the experience smooth.
A lot of people don't think that they're ready for a dog, and then they get it in their home and they're like, I actually want to keep this guy. So we always say that it doesn't hurt to at least give it an opportunity.
We have all of the information on how you can apply to be a foster family over at clickorlando.com. Reporting in Osceola County, Stephanie Rodriguez, Getting Results, News 6.
Well, we certainly hope that a lot of those pets can get into a foster family and hopefully then get adopted out. They're doing some great work down there, and it's nice to see that they're getting the upgrades. But of course, those pets need to be out of there while they're making the changes so that they're not stressed out and making their already difficult situation worse. Again, you can find a way on how to apply at clickorlando.com. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are going to take a look at the return of Riverside Park and how that is recovering 2 years after Hurricane Ian. It was badly damaged by the big storm, and so we'll have more on that and tell you all about our Hits the Road coverage out in Oviedo and where you can find more of those great stories out of that city in Seminole County. That'll all be coming up in just about 2 minutes. Welcome back to Take 6. We are taking a live look right now at the recovery of the Fram 2 mission that just splashed down about a half hour ago off the coast of California. That mission took off from the Space Coast, Florida Space Coast, just a few days ago. You can see more of the recovery and, of course, find out all about the mission and what it accomplished over on clickorlando.com. And you can watch the live feed of this on our Click Orlando WKMG News 6 YouTube page. Time now is 12:47. I'm streaming executive producer Thomas Mates, filling in for Julie Broughton today. All week long, we have been hitting the road, heading out to Oviedo in Seminole County. It is a vibrant community out there, and we have been telling the stories of that community. One thing that we have found is that it was hit particularly hard by Hurricane Ian, and there are still some recovery efforts happening even right now. One of those recovery efforts has to do with Riverside Community Park. It saw about 25 inches of water washing through the facilities there, and now it is getting ready to fully reopen later this month, some 2 years later. News 6's Catherine Silver has more on that story.
It's a weekday morning at Riverside Park, and the pool is ready for aerobics. The first
I apologize for those audio issues that we're having with that story. That story will be coming up later tonight on News 6 this afternoon. You can see it then. And of course, you can watch it right now on clickorlando.com. Again, I apologize for the audio issues. I'll try and get those sorted so that we can come back to that package in just a few minutes. In the meantime, though, let's take a look at another story out of Oviedo, the Seminole Cross, the Cross Seminole Trail. News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden went out there with our photographer, Paul Giorgio, to take a look at the trail and all that it has to offer to the people living out in Seminole County. It's a really beautiful spot in the that you should get out there and experience. Let's take a look at it.
I've lived in Central Florida for a while now, and inevitably someone will say, oh, there's nothing to do this weekend. I'm like, have you been outside? I'm here in Oviedo with photojournalist Paul Giorgio. Paul, where are we?
We are at the Cross Seminole Trail at the Black Hammock Trailhead.
All right, so it's a beautiful day.
It's a gorgeous day.
What are we gonna do?
Let's go check out the trail and show the viewers what there is to see.
All right, let's do it. All right, this whole trail is almost 30 miles long. We're not doing the whole thing today, Paul.
You don't think so?
I'm guaranteeing you we're not. Have you been on this trail before? It's beautiful. It's so, look at how lush it is. Hello. Oh yeah, it's a 417. You hear the racing cars and also the chirping birds. I love, this part of it has a lot of canopy, which is nice. I just don't want to run into a snake.
So Ginger, one of the things a lot of people may not realize is these trails were once railroad tracks. There was a program years ago called Rails to Trails, and they turned a lot of the dormant tracks into trails. That's what we're riding on today.
Oh my God! It's a baby turtle. Oh, he's little. Paul, we gotta move him out of the road. Okay, buddy, come on, go, go, go. Should I just pick him up? Go, buddy, come on, let's go. You can do it. My watch says we've been riding for 24 minutes, and we're wondering how far until Oviedo, because we're out of breath, right? We're not the first people to ask that question. This homeowner put up this cool sign. So downtown Oviedo is half a mile away. Thank you, friendly Oviedo neighbor. You're visiting from Seattle. What do you think about this trail?
I think it's really nice. It's shady. I love the fact that it's not too exposed. And the people seem friendly enough.
Yeah. Okay, so we were just on the beautiful trail where we had all of nature surrounding us. But look at where we are right now. We're on the main drag, which is the 434, and it doesn't really tell us where to pick up the trail from here. So we're gonna try and figure it out.
Yeah, it's definitely confusing. They could use a little more, you know, a direction.
A little signage.
Yeah, a little something there, you know,
Yeah,
just to kind of tell you how to continue where to go.
So Daniel was helpful, and we're not crazy. We couldn't figure out where the trail went, so now we're on it.
Hey Ginger, check out this historic marker. It says it's for a Navy plane crash back in 1962. All right, Ginger, we've been out for about an hour and a half. We just got back to the trailhead again. What do you think of our Oviedo trail experience?
Okay, I have to say, even though it got a little confusing toward downtown, Daniel got us on the right path. I have to say, it was delightful. The weather is perfect, the people were friendly, it was just nice.
Yeah, it was a nice quick ride, like an hour and a half wasn't long.
No, not at all.
The tree canopy is beautiful.
Yeah.
We saw a few animals.
Oh my, the little turtle, we rescued him.
Yeah.
Really helped him.
It was a good trip. You should try it.
That was a great piece by Ginger Gadsden and Paul Giorgio. Really beautiful trail out there, and just one of the many things, one of the many experiences that we had going out to Oviedo all week long and showing off the community. I want to get back to that story that we had to skip over just a moment ago. Riverside Community Park reopening. I believe I've got the audio issues figured out now, so I do apologize for that again. Again, just to recap, that park was damaged by Hurricane Ian some 2 years ago, and it's just now getting ready to fully reopen. News 6's Catherine Silver has the story.
Way better than Monday, I'm just saying.
It's a weekday morning at Riverside Park.
All right, now take it out to a wide jog.
And the pool is ready for aerobics.
Your hands are going like this, push, pull.
The first splash. Welcome for a group who's waited more than 2 years to get back in the water here. The first preview of what this facility will offer Oviedo.
Welcome to Riverside Park.
We took a tour with Parks and Recreation Director Paul Belden. There are tennis and pickleball courts, a playground and skate park, newly renovated rooms for racquetball.
The last thing will be the new wood floors and sports lines.
And that's just a peek at the outside grounds.
If you want to come on in.
On the inside, a remodeled center will be a home base for seniors.
This is the multi-purpose room. This section will always be slated as a social gathering. Every day of the week we'll have coffee, games set up. They can sit down, just converse.
Belden's vision is clear, but after Hurricane Ian, what we're seeing now seemed more like a dream than reality. How different does the park look now compared to what it was?
It doesn't compare.
Imagine 25 inches of water here after the hurricane hit. So we would have been standing in water
It would
right
be
now.
about up to here at our knee level. Yes.
This was all flooded
out. It was all flooded, yes.
From parking lot through the pool
parking
and
lot,
park?
Yeah, the water actually went just past the playground area. It crossed over the road into the golf course, and it went all the way up on Lockwood Boulevard.
After months of assessments, remediation, and renovation, finally the finish line is near.
We actually awarded the bid to the contractor in February of 24, and here we're a little bit over a year past that, and we're almost complete.
How does it feel to be almost at the tail end?
It's refreshing. It's actually energizing. Staff's actually getting into their rhythm again of programming the facility, especially for the senior programming.
Spend time with Belden, and you'll learn he not only sees progress,
we can have multiple card games set up over here,
but possibility.
We could have an art class being taken place on the north side of the building. We could have fitness exercise classes.
So there's a lot of flexibility with the space.
Total flexibility. It's really going to be learning what the seniors want the city to offer and what we want to bring to them.
Belden believes the possibilities are endless.
A few more people today, and a new person.
And the best part just might be the friendships formed here. The memories made. It seems like a tight-knit group.
It is, it is. We, get together for occasions, and we'll go out for lunch.
A real community at Riverside. In Oviedo, Catherine Silver, Getting Results, News 6.
It's great to see that facility reopening for the people out there. Of course, we are going to be out in Oviedo again today. News 6 anchor Matt Austin will be there, wrapping up our coverage this week. Catherine Silver will also be out there, showing off more of the stories out in Oviedo and the stories that you told us about. We want to stress that these are all coming from the community, things that people wanted us to cover. If you want to see more of these stories or tell us what you want to cover in your community, head to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad. Again, that's clickorlando.com/hitstheroad. And be sure to watch tonight for the last day of our coverage out in Oviedo. Of course, we will continue to cover Oviedo in perpetuity as long as we're able to, but the last day of our Hits the Road coverage will be this evening starting on News 6 at 4. Again, Matt Austin will be out there, and you can find more at clickorlando.com/hitstheroad. That'll do it for us here on Take 6 today. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, we'll be back on News 6 at 4 with all your weather and headlines, everything you need to know to finish out your day and to start the weekend. Thank you again for watching, and have a pleasant day.